Hi there. It's May 6th and time for Proverbs 6. There. Today he's talking about a subject and he will talk about this over and over and over again because he's very serious about it. Hmm. It's about co-signing, okay? And it says for your neighbor, okay, if you have a good credit score and a good reputation and enjoy that, and somebody does not and needs something and wants to get a loan, they will require a co-signer, which means somebody that will guarantee their loan for them and will make the payments if they can't, okay? It usually happens with your kids, okay? When they need their first car or something, they'll ask you to co-sign it. But it's different. It says, neighbor, this is for friends and strangers, okay? My son, if you will become a co-signer for your neighbor, surety is what they call it in all the other ones, yeah? If you have shaken hands and pledged with a stranger, if you are trapped by your own words and snared by the words of your mouth, then do this, my son, and free yourself. Since you fell into your neighbor's hand, go humble yourself and plead with your neighbor. Allow no sleep to your eyes, no slumber to your eyelids. Escape like a gazelle from the hunter's hand, like a bird from the snare of a fowler. Mhm. Now, I don't know if you could get out of co-signing once you've already co-signed. Right? In other parts, it will say to get a collateral, okay? Which is what you do if you're co-signing for your kids. Okay, I'll help you get your first car so you can get to your new job, but I'm going to take your dirt bike and your Xbox, and if you don't pay this and I have to pay it, I'm going to sell those to get my money back. Okay, I think that's collateral. He will talk about this over and over and over again. Okay. Laziness and perversity is something else he talks about a lot. Go to the ant, you slacker, consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler. Yet, yet it prepares its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Right? Ants don't have a leader. The queen is not this, they just lay eggs and they take care of the queen because they want to keep their, right? Keep their colony going. And they never stop working, right? When you wake up and you find they've been working all night in your kitchen. How long will you lie there, slacker? When will you get up from your sleep? A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep, and your poverty comes like a bandit, and your need like an armed man. That's something else he says. A favorite saying of Solomon's, I think. He says this a lot. 12. A scoundrel, a wicked man, is one who goes around with a perverse mouth, winking his eyes, shuffling his feet, pointing his fingers, who continually plots evil with deceit in his heart, stirring up strife. Therefore his disaster will come suddenly. In an instant he will be broken, with no remedy. Okay? These are scammers, okay? And they were around back then, they're around now, okay? Somebody's scamming, lying. And they used to use hand signals, okay? There were to be 2 or 3 of them that were taking advantage of one person and cheating them, and they would have signals that wink their eyes and tap their feet, right? And, point their fingers. And there's always more than one involved. But it says disaster will come suddenly on them. In an instant, they will be broken with no remedy, right? Once a scammer gets caught, he is labeled as a scammer, and his reputation and everything he does is ruined, and there's no remedy for that, okay? No coming back from that. Okay. 6 things Adonai hates. Yes, 7 are abominations. These are things that are an abomination to God, okay? Haughty eyes, looking down on other people. A lying tongue, of course. Hands that shed innocent blood. A heart that plots wicked schemes. That's this guy's up here. Feet that run to evil. A false witness who spouts lies. And a very important one. One who stirs up strife among brothers. Okay. Now this haughty eyes, that's pride, arrogance, conceit. Okay, God doesn't like that. God wants humble. The other ones are evil. But this last one who stirs up strife among brothers. Okay, that's a gossip. Okay, that is a gossip. Somebody who spreads awful rumors, right? Especially if you're the one who starts it. Okay, somebody comes to you in confidence and says, I need prayer. I'm having a problem in this area. And you spread it around, even with good intentions. So and so's having problems in this area. He needs prayer. All right, it's going to get around everywhere. And you are stirring up strife among the brethren. Okay? And over here for brethren or brothers, it says neighbors, brothers, right? Rumor mill. God hate, and he will talk about this over and over again too. Gossip is a horrible thing. All right. Hey, a father's warning against adultery. He's already dedicated whole chapters to this, right? My son, keep your father's mitzvah or instruction. And forsake not your mother's teaching. You thought you'd get out of this. Now, usually he says this in the very first verse, but and you have to remember when this was written, it wasn't cut into chapters and verses. It was one long, right? So this could have been the beginning of another paragraph. My son, keep your father's mitzvah and forsake not your mother's teaching. Bind them in your heart continually. Tie them around your neck. When you walk, they will guide you. When you lie down, they will watch over you. And when you wake up, they will speak to you. For the mitzvah, instruction, is a lamp. Torah, the Bible, the word, a light. And corrective discipline, the way of life. Keeping you from the immoral woman, from a wayward wife, smooth tongue, do not lust in your heart after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyelids. Right. A wayward woman, smooth tongue. How many of these women do you see? Beautiful women on TV dressed provocatively, right? Even if it's like a concert or a sitcom on TV, these people are married, okay? And they're acting all this sultry and everything, and you're lusting after somebody else's wife. Is it any different? I don't think it is. Okay? You don't watch TV. Okay? I turned the TV off 9 years ago, and I don't miss it a bit. Okay? Do not lust after her beauty, or let her captivate you with her eyelids. And this is, for on account of a prostitute is reduced to a loaf of bread. A man's wife preys on your precious life. Okay? A prostitute is not married, right? They are doing this for money, to survive, to eat, to feed themselves. That's fornication. It's not. Adultery is when you go with somebody else's wife or husband. 27. Can a man scoop fire into his lap without burning his clothes, or can a man walk upon hot coals without scorching his feet? So is he who goes to another man's wife. No one touches her. No one who touches her will go unpunished. Men do not despise a thief if he steals to satisfy himself when he is starving. Yet if he is caught, he must repay sevenfold, giving up all the wealth of his house. He who commits adultery with a woman lacks sense. Whoever does so destroys himself. Right? And remember, Jesus said, if you've done this in your mind, it's as bad as doing it in real life. So when you're watching these pretty girls on TV, know that they are married, right? And it's somebody else's wife you are lusting after. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He who commits adultery with a woman lacks sense. Whoever does so destroys himself. He will find disease and disgrace. His shame will never be wiped away. Disease, that's something, huh? 34. For jealousy enrages a man, and he will show no mercy in the day of revenge. He will not accept any compensation. He will not consent, even if your bribe is great. Okay? Jealousy. Jealousy is the worst kind of anger. The worst, right? because it involves betrayal of somebody you loved and trusted. Okay. And if that betrayal happens, there is no amount of compensation. I'll buy you a new car. I'll buy you a house. It's not going to take away the anger and the jealousy of being betrayed. Okay? Even if your bribe is great. Mhm. So there you go. That's Proverbs 6. That's some good stuff in here. We'll go over our highlights real quick. Okay. And we talked about co-signing. Okay. Don't do it. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's something he says. He'll say this over and over about laziness. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands. He'll say to rest. Most of them say it says to sleep here. And your poverty comes like a bandit, and your need like an armed man. All right. Don't be lazy. Okay. About scammers. Okay. This is all about the scammers. They call them scammers now. They had names for them throughout the ages. A scoundrel, a wicked man is one who goes around with a perverse mouth lying. Okay. Winking his eyes, shuffling his feet, pointing his fingers, who continually plots evil with deceit in his heart, stirring up strife. Scammers, right? They're always lying to you, telling you this great thing that's going to happen if you give me this money. It never does. Okay? Therefore, his disaster will come suddenly. In an instant, he will be broken with no remedy. Right? Once these scammers are found out, they're famous for about 10 minutes and then forgotten of. Nobody ever trusts them. Nobody ever talks to them, and they are broken without remedy. Okay. 6 things Adonai, God the Lord, hates. 7 are an abomination to him. Okay? Haughty eyes. That's anybody who looks down their nose at anybody, thinks you're better than anybody. Pride, arrogance, conceit. Okay? A lying tongue. Nobody likes a liar. Okay? That shed innocent blood. Don't like those either. A heart that plots wicked schemes, and like these guys up here, scammers. Okay? Feet that run to evil. Okay? And you see these bunch of people would get together and break into a store and start looting the store, and everybody is running in there because they want to get some. Right? Feet that run to evil. A false witness who spouts lies. Plenty of those around, huh? God hates that. And the most important to me, anyways, one who stirs up strife among brothers. Right? Gossip. A gossip. They can be sweet little old ladies, and they can be gossip, stirring up strife among the brethren and the congregation and the families. Right? If it's none of your business, it's none of your business. Okay? And it causes damage, lots of damage. Okay? So we're highlighting here. It's all about adultery. Okay? Lots about adultery. At 34 and 35, talks about jealousy. For jealousy, this is when the husband finds out that somebody has been with their wife. Jealousy enrages a man, and he will show no mercy in the day of revenge. He will not accept any compensation. He will not consent, even if your bribe is great. Okay? Nothing can take away that betrayal. Okay? Right. Oh, there you go. Let's get into some good stuff now. All right. Check and see where we're at in our afternoon study. Okay, we're finishing up Luke 23, and this is the crucifixion today. We're talking all about the crucifixion and the burial. This is the darkest day in history, right? In all of history. We'll talk about that today. We're on day 126. So there you have it. That's Proverbs 6, and it gets interesting every time you read it. Okay, this is 21 times, and we're going to do 24 times, and it's always interesting. You always learn something different every time you read it. So there you go. Give us a like if you think about it, and later on we'll continue. See you next time.